I met Min when I was 27. He was kind, smart, and always knew what to say to make me feel safe. At the time, that was all I wanted: safety. After a childhood full of moving around and a few broken relationships in my 20s, I just wanted something stable, and Min was stable. He was gentle, quiet, reliable. We got married after a year of dating. The wedding was simple. I still remember how his mother, my future mother-in-law, held my hands and smiled at me. "Welcome to the family," she said softly. She was the warm type, always cooking too much, always asking if I'd eaten. In the beginning, I felt lucky to have not just a husband, but a new mother figure too. Everything felt peaceful, but here's the thing about peace: sometimes it hides things. In the second year of our marriage, Min started coming home later. At first, it was just once a week, then twice, then almost every night. "Work is stressful," he'd say. "There's a new project," he'd add. And I believed him. I wanted to believe him. But deep inside, something didn't feel right. He stopped asking me how my day was. He stopped noticing when I cut my hair. He stopped holding me in bed. I told myself, maybe this is just marriage. Maybe people change after a while. But one night, when he came home at 2 a.m., smelling of perfume that wasn't mine, I couldn't hold it in anymore. "Min," I asked gently, "are you seeing someone else?" He laughed, a short, cold laugh. "Of course not," he said. "Why would you even think that?" That night, he turned his back to me, and I turned my back to myself. A few weeks later, I visited his parents. Min was too busy to join. His mother made my favorite soup. We sat at the small table in the garden under the orange tree. We talked about small things at first: the weather, the neighbors, my work. And then she looked at me, really looked, like a mother, like someone who already knew what I was about to say, but wanted to give me the space to say it myself. "Is everything okay between you and Min?" she asked. I froze. For a second, I wanted to lie, to smile and nod and say, "Yes, we're fine," but I couldn't. Tears started falling before I even spoke. "I think he's cheating on me," I whispered. She didn't look surprised. She didn't ask, "Are you sure?" Or, "What proof do you have?" She didn't protect her son. Instead, she reached across the table and held my hand. And then she said words I will never forget. "He is. I've known for a while. I didn't know how to tell you, because I knew it would break your heart. The world around me felt silent. Even the birds stopped singing. Even the wind stopped blowing. I didn't cry louder. I didn't shout. I just sat there and felt like I was disappearing. She continued. I told him to stop. I told him to think about you. But I can't control him, darling. And I'm sorry. I'm so, so sorry. She squeezed my hand. Her eyes were full of guilt, but also love. In that moment, I felt something unexpected, not anger, not betrayal, just grief for the love I thought I had, for the man I thought he was, for the future I thought we were building together. That night, I didn't go home. I stayed in the small guest room at my in-laws' house. I stared at the ceiling and asked myself, how long have I been lying to myself? What did I do wrong? Is love supposed to feel like this? The next morning, I packed a small bag and went back to our apartment. Min was there, sitting on the couch, scrolling on his phone like nothing had happened. I stood in front of him. I talked to your mother, I said. He looked up slowly. His face went pale. She told me the truth. Silence. I'm sorry, he said. But he said it the way people say sorry when they step on your foot, not when they step on your soul. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I just looked at him. One last time, and I walked to the bedroom, took my pillow, a few clothes, my toothbrush, my silence, and I left. In the weeks that followed, I cried more than I ever thought a person could, but I also started to breathe again. Slowly, gently, I started doing things for myself. I reconnected with old friends. I joined a yoga class. I went to cafes alone and read books I loved as a child. I sat in the park and watched the sun go down. And I wrote every day letters I would never send to him, to myself, to the woman I used to be. One day, I got a letter in the mail. It was from my mother-in-law. Inside was a small piece of paper folded neatly. No long message, just one sentence written in her careful handwriting. You didn't deserve what happened, but you do deserve a beautiful life after it. And I cried again, not from pain, but from gratitude. She didn't take my side to hurt her son. She told the truth to protect my heart. And sometimes that's what real love looks like. Today, I live in a small apartment filled with plants and sunlight. I still feel sad sometimes. Healing isn't quick, but I also feel proud. Proud that I listened to the truth. Proud that I walked away with my dignity. proud that I'm learning to love myself again. And now, to you watching this, have you ever stayed silent to protect someone from the truth? Have you ever discovered something painful from someone you least expected? What would you do if the person who hurt you was the person you loved the most?